It's Ethereum Sunday, sirs and zers, as we get prepared to look at Ethereum on very, very high-term timeframes, kind of judging the next couple months of price action, I should be saying, and then also going to be looking at the Ethereum Bitcoin pairing as we have a few different things going on right there. Anyways, other than that, I want to once again let you know, actually, that we're going to be having a sale starting tomorrow for the 4th of July for all the celebrators out there. That means if you're not American, it's not for you, but you can also get it as well, I guess. And so my main message is, hey, hold off on buying any one of the programs or products if you were in the market for that to begin with. And if you wait just 24 hours or a little bit less than 24 hours, might save yourself a few bucks. All right, sweet. Let's jump right into it, starting off with Ethereum over here. What should we go with first? Let's start off first over here with the weekly, actually. The weekly is going to be putting in hidden bullish evidence as we identified last week. That is still in continuation as Ethereum does bounce off essentially the midline on the weekly RSI. This is coupled with the lowest of the low volatility that we've ever seen on Ethereum weekly ever throughout the full history. Perhaps even for the longest as well, which does imply that yes, the resolution, the inevitable expansion phase coming in from this is going to be rather large. Let's see what was comparable to this throughout the history of Ethereum. Now, we do see a period of extreme low volatility over here. This was in November of 2021. Obviously, that was on the current all-time high of Ethereum, I do believe, before Ethereum got ready for a pretty nasty move to the downside, actually, going about 55% to the downside over the course of the next 2.5 months. If we can find another comparable period, I could go back all the way over here to November of 2020, and this was getting prepared for Ethereum to move all the way from about $400 to about $1,400, a more than 200% move over the course of the next 63 days. So just over 2 months there as well. Do we have any other good examples in the more recent history? Yes, indeed we do. Coming off of the lows here in April of 2020, that was right after the Rona dump and recovery. And Ethereum did pump up about 146% over the next 112 days. Any other good ones to be cognizant of? Nah, I think that's it for this particular one. But just kind of putting things into context, yes, when volatility gets this low, it does imply that the expansion phase is going to be, rather volatile and rather large, as it is mathematically programmed to do. That, accompanied with the hidden bullish evidence signal over here, does imply that this move likely does pick it up and onwards to the upside. Now, the next thing I'd really be looking for is the cross between the yellow 21 and the green 55 exponential moving average right here, which would put all major moving averages, or at least the major moving averages that I have on my current charts, into a bullish posturing. And the last time we saw something like that was actually coming off of the June pumpola that we did see in 2020 on this move from about 220 all the way up to almost $500 in the next few, in the next couple months. Do we have another good example of when this cross officially happened? Actually, no. There's really not many iterations, to be fair. Ethereum does have rather limited price action history, so it is what it is. But that would be another compounding feature that does suggest that, hey, upside probably more likely, again, assuming that does happen. Now, can we actually forecast what price action would need to close at the end of today for the weekly to force the 21 and the 55 to cross up into a bullish posturing? Yeah, we can, thanks to Caretaker's moving average crossover levels right here, and that would be this one right here. It would mean that if it was to happen today, which doesn't necessarily need to happen today, but maybe over the next few weeks, Ethereum would need to close above 2,200 essentially. So probably not going to be happening today, but on next week, that number will very likely come down, and we'll revisit that number to see if that one follows through, kind of helping out this overall setup, which would essentially identify this as the next higher low in this overall trend reversal beginning in about December of 2022. Anyways, moving on now, I do want to get into a slightly lower term time frame, the daily right here, just to kind of point out very, very quickly that the daily jewel is starting to flip back into potentially a continuation posturing right here. What we really need to see happen next, however, is that the jewel itself would need to turn that light cyan color, as you can see right here. If that starts to happen, that would be another damn good signal that, hey, continuation is the name of the game. Now, we've only spoke about higher term time frames thus far. Again, I want to reiterate, it's going to probably be a little bit different than the lower term time frames in comparison. But before that, I do want to get into a 2-day time frame setup over here. This one I thought was rather interesting, as there's only been Actually, there's been a good amount, but let me first explain the setup. What essentially is the setup? The setup is this: anytime that we do see Ethereum on the 2-day time frame, the jewel light in this case, which you can also use the jewel as well, get below, I believe I have it set at about 40 for this particular one, and then turn white on the first tick, coupled with PMARP levels below 50 percentile, that has led to, well, if I can go to the overview over here, a total of 14 setups throughout the full history of Ethereum. So again, not a whole hell of a lot. You know, it is kind of a rather higher term time frame for Ethereum, but it does cover the full history of Ethereum, to be fair. And of those 14 setups, just over half of them were actually profitable, to be fair. Now, the reason why I bring this one up, however, is because while there is a slight edge in these working out to the upside, you know, a little bit greater than 50% chance, actually close to 60%, so not bad, to be fair. The numbers associated with it have been pretty damn impressive, dare I say. So if we go into the performance summary over here, we can start to level things off and divide it up by winning trades and losing trades. And the average winning trade, which is kind of fucking crazy, did print over 100% actually. In fact, the average winning trade was 130%. Versus the average losing trade at about 36.25%. So these are big fucking numbers here. What does that suggest? It suggests that when we go ahead and reference that weekly volatility, yeah, we're looking at likely a biblical move. I don't know about biblical, but a pretty fucking big move within the context of Ethereum's history. If this one does play out to the upside, there is a current setup started from the end of May. I don't know what else is yelling at in the background. Hey, be quiet. No more noise from you, sir. Or Zer. I guess the game month is over, so we can go back to just regular girl. Anyways, let's see. So yes, there was a setup that fired off on over here. It is still very much viable. Will be invalidated if not Bitcoin, but Ethereum comes back down below about 1640, 1650 or so, thus initiating probably move all the way down to 1370 or at least like mid 1300s. But for right now, you know, with those probabilities slightly in favor of the upside and a significantly greater move in favor of the upside, if it does indeed occur, I mean, what would that essentially look like on current price action? Let's see. Well, holy shit. Okay, my chart doesn't go high enough. I should have known this just by doing some mental math, obviously, but not so smart on a lazy Sunday. That would essentially put Ethereum all the way back up to the prior highs. I am not suggesting that. There is going to be variance within these results, obviously. And again, keeping in mind that, you know, there's only been 14 of these prior iterations. I would likely, if I had to bet on it myself, suggest that that's going to be on the lower end of that. I would be surprised if we even saw a 100% move. What I think is a lot more reasonable is maybe, up to 25 or 2600 for Ethereum. Based upon that. So we'll revisit this one each and every passing week. It's not going to be, done anytime soon anyways, so or unlikely to be, because again, if we go back into the strategy tester, we can see that the average amount of time taken for these trades to play out is about 50 days. So 50 days, that's a month and a half. Again, this one began back here late May, so actually we're getting pretty damn close to that, to be fair. 50 days would put us into middle of July. So I suspect it's probably gonna be on the upper end of that as well. And that also kind of suggests that, hey, if this one is going to be done relatively soon, do I see like another, 100% on top of current price action? Unlikely, very unlikely, but still, the name of the game is probably a big move. I'm curious what a Fibonacci retracement would kind of show as far as potential areas of interest in this overall macro look right here. I guess I already have it on, and yeah, what do you know? 618 coming in around 2700. Let me see if I have this properly. Let me go by closures here. Boom and boom. Yeah, 2650. And the 0.5 coming in at 2225. So those would be my first two areas of interest. If it does start to retake the 618, I guess at that point, 34, 35 would be in the cards. But one thing before the next, and again, like I said, we will start to we will follow up on this particular setup each and every passing week now, just to just to see where it's at. As I suspect that this one's it's already kind of close to the take profit anyways, which would be PMARP above 88 percentile. So it's already at 65. So that's also why I do say, probably unlikely to go for, a mega run based off that. But still pretty impressive nonetheless, at least in my personal opinion. We can also go check out lower term timeframes. This is where I kind of want to differentiate, obviously, between the higher term timeframe and the lower term timeframe analysis. Lower term timeframes can very easily pull back here. Really wouldn't be asking for too much. Coming back down, let me go back to the hourly here. Maybe just below 1900. Certainly fair game. Really only problems for Ethereum back down below, this past week's low. Looking at the daily, do we see anything of particular interest right here? Range is too damn large. But next sort of major breakout that would be of interest for the higher term timeframes would be with the daily closure above about 2028. Low side, same thing as well. 4-hour time frame, same thing here too. So, short-term time frames, let's go ahead and reference stochastic momentum, see where the pivots are currently at. Daily time frame will actually turn down below 1902, currently trading about $12 above that pivot, but do keep in mind that daily stochastic also is way up here. 12-hour time frame is going to be also up above 1861, starting to get a little bit more towards that critical zone. 6-hour time frame going to be crossing down fresh in the critical zone, 1932, going to be the magical number right there. 4-hour time frame also fresh, turning down below 1922, and hourly all the way down at 1918. So a bit of bifurcation between these. What does that align with? Probably some sideways, probably some downside. And then for the Bulaw's sake, hopefully sets in a higher low, somewhere above 1900 or so would be good. At least for the Bulaw's. We can go ahead and reference Ethereum Bitcoin as well here, as I think this one's also rather interesting. Weekly, it does appear to me that yes, our prior targets of those low 6 million Satoshis levels has already been hit. And now probably a bounce, very likely a bounce, but I do believe that the trend is set. We do see a silver cross to the downside started right here. And while short term, it probably does bounce and can very easily bounce back up, maybe even towards 6.5 million Satoshis, or let's see what the monthly says. Yeah, 6.5 or 6.6.5, something like that. That'd be completely fine. Ultimately, I would still be looking for this one to come down further towards 5.5 million or 5.6 million Satoshis before the next sort of major bounce attempt. Long term, still looking down. Short term, however, probably does try a little bit more on this bounce. Like I said, mid sixes, maybe a little bit above that is completely fair game, but still lower highs the whole way through on the weekly, as long as it's below, of course, about 7 million Satoshis. So not great right there. But maybe something like this over the coming weeks, where it pumps up and then comes back down, later on during this year is probably what I'd be looking for. And then I suppose the hopium, or at least the first major hopium low that I'd be looking for is maybe around the mid 5 million Satoshis. So nothing's really changed there. We'll update on that one as well in the coming week, and I think that's a good place for me to be leaving off on this particular video. Don't forget to do the old shill over here. You can still get the Jewel app free for the first 30 days, blah, 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 blah. You can follow the directions in the link description below, blah, 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 blah. You get the idea. All right, sweet. It's a good shill too, because it's free. There you go. It's fucking free, man. Doesn't cost you nothing. Okay, so that is it for today. I'm gonna go head off to boxing practice, big sparring day, which I'm really excited about. Gonna get my brain smashed in, so tomorrow's video is gonna be very difficult, but I'm fucking excited. Other than that, want to be wishing you the best as always. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully tomorrow.